All right, we are back. Sorry about that, guys. Had some serious technical difficulties with Streamlabs. Just ended the stream on us, but we are back. Um, who was going before? I can't remember at this point.
You were talking.
I was talking. All right. So this is right after the this is right after. So we were talking about the Green Arrow joke, and then like the pretty much the end of this is he says all of these different things about Green Arrow, and Adebayo calls bullshit about all of these different things that he says about different superheroes. But then Economos pretty much says he's like, yeah, no, that's completely true. And then Adrian's like, well, and the whole thing about Aquaman fucking fish. And he's like, yeah, that's real too.
That's also true.
I thought that was so funny. Like, dude, Vigilante is hands down my favorite character on the show, period.
Same.
Like, the dude's comedic timing is absolutely insane, and his kills in this episode are fucking nuts as well. So I can't wait episode. So this is the whole thing. So the plan is okay. Well, we're not going to use Green Arrow. We're not going to call that guy. So, but we do have a member of our team that can fly. So Chris's idea is to get Eagly to take the helmet and drop it over into the barn. Now, I
No
thought that
lie.
this was going to work
Me
flawlessly.
too.
I was
I
like,
thought it
this
was.
is Eagly's moment. This is the finale. But I was like, this is James Gunn. I should have known better. James Gunn was going to go for the joke. He was sit in the woods.
Oh my God. That like I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like it was just like the worst thing that could happen at that moment. It was like, fuck. He really and then I like Vigilante's quote after that. He's like Peacemaker's an amazing guy, but his flaw is that he puts too much trust into
In
Eagly.
Eagly's
Eagly's
abilities.
ability. And it's like, why would you say that right now? Like, is this the time?
That was absolutely fucking hilarious. And then so the team splits up at this point. Each so we have Adrian and Economos, we have Harcourt and Adebayo, and then Chris is off on his own. So with Adrian and John, they have this really stupid conversation about the circle of life and how many ants there are compared to fish on the planet. Like,
Yeah, I was like, huh?
it's like, James Gunn, like, what are you on when you're writing the
These
dialogue for this show? And then Harcourt and Adebayo, they're off on their own. And Harcourt's like, why'd you decide to come? And Adebayo's like, you know what? I saw an eagle hug a human, and I thought it was a sign. And Harcourt's like, maybe it was a sign to run in the opposite direction. And she's like,
Yo,
fuck.
her reaction, she's like, fuck. It just
I-
looks so mad, like, damn, I could have not been here. And she just stares at just like, damn, I could have just been home, my wife, my kid, my dogs out here, but no. So like that was just pure comedy for me. It was just pure enjoyment, like of her reaction of like, damn it, I could have been not fighting this fucking goddamn butterflies. And
Mhm.
just I love the romance. I love the bromance between Hardcore and Plata Bidayo of how their relationship has been growing the past couple episodes, where like they understand they each of them have their own reason of being here and not being here, but they know that they have to be here to get this mission done for the greater good, and also just them understanding them as two human beings, just knowing that like they know that they each have their own baggage, but we're here for a reason. So I just love that about the characters.
Definitely.
Right.
And then this we get, did you have anything to say on that, Steve? So then we cut to Chris, who's on his own, and then just we see White Dragon. His dad shows up and he's like,
Mhm.
I told you I was in your head. Now, this was something that I definitely thought that this was going to happen, but I didn't think we would see any elements of it until season 2. The moment White Dragon was fighting Chris in the last episode and he says that I'm in your head, it doesn't matter if I kill you, you kill me, I'm in your head. I was like, he's going to see a manifestation of his dad,
Mhm.
because you don't just get Robert Patrick and then have him be one and done, right? So
Yeah.
I knew that this was going to happen. I just didn't think it was going to happen this early. What about you guys?
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting to see him at all, honestly and truthfully. So when he pops up on the screen, I was kind of surprised. I was definitely thinking there would be a vision of him, like you said, later on. but not this early. I was thinking the finale would be more so focused on killing the butterfly, you know what I'm saying? The cow. And so I never even imagined that we would get him right now. And when he pops up on the screen, I kind of like had to press pause, like, oh shoot, am I on? You know what I'm saying? Did I do something wrong? Because like I had my PlayStation remote in my hand. I was like, did I backtrack to another episode or something? So but when it happened and then John Cena sees him, his reaction, like his acting when he sees him, is like, yo, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really are here. And he's like, I told you I'm in your head and all this other stuff. And then I like the little back and forth banter that he has. He's like, why didn't you just reach for your gun? And I like the fact that Peacemaker immediately says, because I know that you're a figment of my imagination, that kind of thing. And he's like, and if I shoot you, the butterflies will hear. And I like the fact that he didn't like do anything crazy. He was very calm and collective at getting the blow dart instead of like, you know what I'm saying? The pistol, even though it's like, I know you're a figment of my imagination, I don't have to kill you. He's still like, I gotta kill you again, but it's not gonna be with a gun and make a bunch of noise. I'll blow dart you. I thought that was pretty interesting the way that he handled that though. And he was just like, just quiet and, calm about it. He didn't like overreact or freak out or anything like that. It was more so like, I got to take care of this, but I'm not going to do it noisy.
Yeah.
Steve, I agree with you 100% on that, because it shows that Chris is smart. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, even though he knows that he's not seeing his dead father that he just killed right now being here, but he knows that he should not use his gun because he's still on a mission to kill the butterflies. He cannot make sound and have them be aware of where they're at and their location. So he knew this is the best case scenario. So I love how James Gunn showed this as a real type of scenario, but also showing that Chris as a character is smart as a person, because he knows that this is what's going on with him. He's acknowledging that he sees his dead father as a ghost, but he's also seeing that he's still smart about not using like a deadly weapon with what's going on.
Yeah. And then inadvertently, this is actually the thing that helps them find the helmet, right? Because Harcourt comes up and she sees Chris talking to himself. And I also love that she kind of didn't say anything, because she gets it. Like, I mean, she's been around soldiers, she's been around other people, so she gets that, yeah, he's kind of going through it. His dad was a shit person, but he still had to kill his fucking father, right?
Yeah.
So she can see that he's going through, so she doesn't even mention it, really. And then she finds the helmet. So I thought that was a really cool moment between Harcourt and Chris.
I think that if she didn't find the helmet, she would have questioned him.
You think? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like the way the actress gave the body expression and the look, but then saw the helmet, like, okay, she felt like, okay, he's going through it, but at the same time, he found the helmet for us. So we're not going to need to actually do this right now. But if she didn't see any helmet and just kept seeing him doing whatever he's doing, then he would be like, hey, Chris, are you okay? Do you need a breather? What's up?
Yeah. It could have left the door open for more conversation if the helmet wasn't found. I feel you on that.
Yeah. So then they find the helmet, and then they start to execute the plan, but Harcourt comes up with a really cool idea. So she asks Chris to do her a favor. He finds this police officer, kills the butterfly, just like, what was that? It looks like a giant syringe or some shit. Like, I don't know, I can't tell exactly what it was, but he stabs the cop in the head. Yeah, it was the fucking blow dart. Yeah. So he stabs the butterfly, kills the guy, drags the body, and John is the only one that can do this. So they put the uniform on John, and his job is to take the helmet into the barn. And this works out perfectly. Goff has seen Vigilante and Chris's face, and if they look in, if Adebayo and Harcourt go, they're injured, they'll be able to tell the difference. So I thought this was a really cool way to give Economos something else to do, right? Because he's only like popped up and done some really cool shit. He's our hacker guy, but this is some like really, really deep shit where he has to walk past all of these butterflies to get into the barn. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I felt I think in chat to the stream that I think it was in Nova or Merc. They said the scene that him talking about his beard, it felt so sad
That hurt,
because
bro.
it's just like saying that nobody ever noticed. The only reason I did is because I never had time because of work, underpaid, the amount of hours. And then there's one guy kept reminding me about it. And then I love how it was such a serious moment talking about his life, how sad it is, how depressed it is, no love life. He may even still be a goddamn fucking virgin at this point. Who the hell knows?
Mhm.
But I love how James Gunn put that joke right after saying, maybe I should have gone for the better brand and I could have gone Olorel. I was like, wow, I didn't expect that. Like he took the little snub in of the nice joke after the whole depression, and I love how it didn't feel forced. It was great
Right.
comedy, right at the mark, and it felt very human thing to do because humans, a lot, myself included, we do this when we talk something about dark, real life, real shit going on within ourselves, but then we make a joke at the end. So I just love that.
Yeah. That's why I really like that little scene too, because it's like Peacemaker and Hardcore. When it pans back to them, they're kind of looking like shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? We've been fucking bullying this guy in a sense, and he's really going through it and things like that. But that's the scene as he's coming back up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
When he went down the stairs or whatever, I like the fact that like he was first stopped by the police officer. Can't
By
remember his
Larry.
name. Larry. And he's first stopped by and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm taking this downstairs." He's like, "Why?"
Taking this bag.
Yeah, he's all like, "Okay." And then everybody's like, "That fucking worked." And it was funny because he gets there and then he freaks out when he sees the cow. He's like,
That
mm.
that would have been my reaction too. I'm just saying,
It's
if
like
I saw a
another fucking
goddamn
kaiju.
cow
He's
and
like, "That's not a
and I'm
cow."
not a killer like this, if I saw that shit, I'd be like, nah, I'm gone, guys. Y'all could do this bullshit. That's a fucking fat ass motherfucking
I
kaiju
mean,
that's
it
just
can't
staring at us.
move, so it's like I'm already here. I might as well like finish the job and then like get out.
But okay, yes, but James, but you have to think in his shoes, a guy that's not
For
on the
sure.
field,
For sure.
who's only in tech work, paperwork, whatever. He don't have that type of real life experience like Chris or Hardcore that knows that if they see shit like this, they don't have to react like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand where he can almost reacted, jump, and just said, "Nah, I'm out of here," and just bolts. And then he technically just fuck himself up. But I just love that.
But he did show a lot of bravery just doing it to begin with, right? And standing in front of a butterfly that could literally rip him in half. And he
Mm-hmm.
kept his composure. I mean, he threw up after, right? But he
Yeah.
kept his composure in order to get in. And we wouldn't have been able to get the job done without Economos in that moment. So that was a huge moment for him, and I love that for his character, right? And like you already said, Vash, like that was a real like serious moment for the character. It was a nice callback where Larry stops him on the way back out and he's like, why did the man you took over do that to his beard? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I have to tell the truth or else they'll know that I'm not a butterfly. And then not only am I fucked, but this entire mission is fucked and the world's fucked. And the actor did a really good job just going through those emotions. It's like, I just didn't think anyone would notice. I did it because I've never had a girlfriend and I thought dyeing my beard would make me look younger, more attractive. And it's just like, it was a lot for him to just put out there, knowing that his entire team was listening. And a part of that was him dealing with the fact that no one noticed. That had to be hard too, because no one's paying attention to him to even
Mm-hmm.
notice. And then the person that did notice is just constantly making fun of him for it, right? So it's
Yeah.
a lot for the character. So it was great progression, I think, for Economos.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that was real funny though. He was like, I didn't think anybody would notice, and then they just kept bringing it up, and I was just like, fucking,
They're like, yep, except that one
Peacemaker.
person who just kept bringing it up, making
Yeah.
joke after joke, and just hurting this man's
Yeah.
feelings. And then Chris was like,
Yeah, and another testament to John Cena's acting, man. Just his face, you can see how like hurt he feels by doing this to someone else.
Mhm.
yo, I felt so bad for our boy Canamos because he technically could have been saved much like 10 seconds, 5 seconds sooner. but our girl Abadayo had some sweaty hands,
Bro.
dropped the walkie. Like, yo, that's my fear. I have sweaty hands. I suffer from hyperhidrosis, whatever the hell. Uh, that word is because you swallow. That's all. And knowing her of how she just dropped just by accident, not on purpose. But
See,
knowing that
my palms sweat too. I was like, I call bullshit. I wouldn't have dropped it, but she is nervous. She is.
yeah,
really
she's
nervous.
nervous. So like, I get it because I sweat when I'm nervous, and I sweat just because I sweat. So if I was in her shoes, I'd be like, shit, I would have dropped it too, and I'll be like, okay, guys, I'm gonna grab it quick, press, and just say what activate, boom. But I felt so bad for him because technically it was her fault, but it's not really her fault. The girl was nervous. So I get it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was pissed. I stood up. I was like, "You fucking dumb." I was like, and shout out to Abe because I was like, and this is fucking Abe's favorite character. I said it out loud. I was like, this is fucking Abe's fucking favorite character right here. And I was so mad at her. I was like, what the fuck? I was like,
right now, Adebayo, right now.
Bro, I was like, she's a
like,
fuck
right now you want to fuck up?
I was like, I don't know what. I was like, you making fun of Eagly, and then you do some shit like this. I was so mad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was so mad. And then like, as he's getting like jumped on and mauled, I was like, did he just fucking die? Because you fucking...
Yo,
I was like,
too, Steve.
Bro, I was so mad at her. I was like, fuck, man. I was
like for anybody that has played sports, or if you have played if you have played football, you know how it feels to just people get on top of you and jump up you, and with equipment on you, that's just heavy. Like, some motherfuckers be weighing OD like, yo, can you have to get the fuck out? So when I saw all those people jumping on our boy, it kind of was like, he must be dead, right? But nah,
I never believed
all of them started running. And I'm like, oh, he alive.
I never believed any of them was dead. I'm like, James Gunn, this is the part of it where I'm like, I'm not with it because you're not fooling me. I already know that season 2 is greenlit, and it has to be these 5 core characters. They're not fucking dying. So it's like, and we'll talk about it once we get there. I don't want to get too far ahead. But just moving on from here. So one of the white supremacists that we saw from episode 4 in the prison, he finds the bag, comes upstairs, stops John, like we already talked about. All of the butterflies, they run after Economos, they jump on top of him, and this is where Adebayo activates Sonic Boom. And I thought this was really, really fun because you could just see how much fun she's having after seeing the Sonic Boom explosion. All of the butterflies start scrambling towards the barn. She activates it again. It blows a bunch of butterflies apart. Like, there's so much carnage and blood and body parts in this entire episode. It's just so fucking dope. And then Chris, Harcourt, and Adrian, they go in versus the butterflies with the theme song playing, like Merc mentioned in chat. And I absolutely love this moment. These guys get some incredible fucking kills against these butterflies. So Steve, I'm gonna start with you. Like, what were some of your favorite kills from that fight?
Man, when Peacemaker got the shield and he like slams it on his head, I was like, yes. I was like, yes, that shit was great. That was one of my favorite ones.
Yo, Steve, I just want to say, when Chris did that, like, oh, so that's what we could see Captain America do if you want to be bloody and actually killing instead of being all about liberty. Because I'm like, yo, and plus Chris don't have a nice evenly shoot like a circle. Somehow my man threw this like it's nothing. My man was throwing this, kicking it, and I'm like, okay, he knows how to be Captain America next time as the variant.
That was the next one I was gonna say. So one of them, he slams it on the butterfly's head, but there's another one where he like tosses it and he shoots a bullet and it ricochets, and that shit was like,
bro, I rewound that scene like a billion fucking times, dude. So what he does is there's someone running at him. He pretty much knocks them over like with the shield, lets it go, shoots it, and then as the guy's getting up, when he shoots it, the fucking shield ends up in his fucking skull. It was nuts. It was nuts.
It was ricochet to him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So that's what happened.
He
knocks the guy over with the shield, throws it, uses the bullet to flip it, so that it can ricochet into the guy's skull. Nuts.
It was like flip bottles when they with the
Yeah,
water
yeah.
bottles. Yeah. It was, bro. Those were two of my favorite. And then the one where Vigilante is shot in the back and he kind of just like fuck and he
The
throws
no look throw
Right?
straight into
Like,
this guy's
fuck.
head.
Like, fuck, if I'm a fool, I'm gonna just throw this random dice and somehow shoot you. And I'm like, damn, okay.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite moment of the whole episode. And it's pretty much just Vigilante cutting off people's limbs. He cuts off this one guy's arm, flips, cuts off this other guy's head, and because he cut off his head with so much force, his head spins on the way to the floor. I'm like, oh my god!
Yo, I don't know what is it with me about swords, but I just prefer swords over guns. Maybe because I just love Japan. I just love the feudal and everything. But when I saw Vigilante take out the sword, I was like, yes. And we just kept slicing and just going against people like, yo, Vigilante, are you trained by sword or did he just train your soul? Because I want to know in this version of his character in Peacemaker, who trained him to be such a good killer? That's what I also want to know. And hopefully
I hope he trained himself. I really hope
that's
he
what
did,
I want to know.
Like
that'd be interesting to know in season 2, because also the Peacemaker teach him or show him, because remember back in the movie about the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker said that he's trained to know every single weapon. So does he also know to use swords? That's what I'm curious about. So maybe did Chris teach Vigilante a bit and he just improved while Chris was in prison?
Possible. I hope not, because to me it kind of takes away from Vigilante's character. And in a way, and this is, I mean, it's not like really confirmed or anything, but how I took it is that Vigilante met Peacemaker as Vigilante. Because, I mean, he never saw his face before, right? So he was already Vigilante when they met, so he already kind of had these skills, but there's nothing to confirm that he didn't learn anything from Chris at the same time. So it's like...
And plus to chat, towards what James said, like, I didn't think nobody was gonna die from this last 5 members of the cast. But if somebody was gonna die before I found out the information I found out, I thought the character Hardcore was gonna die, because from what we saw,
they're not gonna kill the women characters, even if it wasn't James Gunn's wife. They're not gonna kill the female characters.
I thought right now too.
I thought she was gonna die, but then once I find out that was his girlfriend, wife, whatever it is, I'm like, oh, never mind. You ain't gonna kill your partner like that, because you'll be hearing it at home. You're like, so you kill me off? Are you gonna kill me off the next show you do? So
I would call cap on that. Like, actors serves the story doesn't serve the actors. I am all about that shit. So even if James Gunn even contemplated that, I would lose respect for him as a director.
Yeah.
Like, Harcourt is the new leader of this team. That's why she's still alive.
She is.
Yeah.
That is true.
She is the leader. She's the one that brings them all together. She set up the group chat. Like, Harcourt has had like a lot of development throughout. All of them have. You know what I mean? So that's something James Gunn has done really well. Give us incredible development for characters that we saw for like 4 seconds in the Suicide Squad, and then 8 episodes of Peacemaker. So he did an incredible job with that. But yeah, I mean, straight up, I mean, she's a female character. They weren't going to kill her off. Let's be honest.
Yeah, facts. Sure, I forgot. Oh yeah, with Vigilante, I don't feel like Vigilante learned anything from Peacemaker, because Peacemaker, Chris or whatever, was friends with his brother. With Vigilante's brother. But he didn't know. He just looked up to him though. Even like when they show him as a busboy, Chris even says, he's like, oh yeah, that's somebody's brother or whatever. So you know that he looked up to him, but he didn't actually, you know what I'm saying, really have too much involvement with him. He just looked up to him. So I don't believe that he learned anything from Peacemaker at all. I think everything he learned would be from wherever he learned it from. I guess whenever they do a backstory and tell us what the fuck he did to learn shit. But yeah, I don't think he learned anything to Peacemaker.
Yeah. Another thing, like, the more and more that I see Vigilante, I see him like a Deadpool type character for like this universe, because he just seems so much like Wade in a way, just obviously without the powers. But to me, he just comes off like DC's Deadpool, and like James Gunn is using this vigilante to like create a version of like Deadpool. I think it's so fucking funny. He's so good.
And so talking about what's going on with the fight that happened, when Chris was going down the stairs, or he was finding Goth, and when the partner of Goth came and started to go, I was like, oh shit, we about to have a quick fight, jumping in there, and the vigilante just puts a fucking machete on the whole head. I was like, how many knives does this guy have? Like, this man has so many pockets. But then it goes back to James' point. The whole inspire of the vigilante outfit, like, it reminds me a lot of Deadpool / Deathstroke. Like, so many pockets. You can have so many knives, so many weapons, and so many, long swords. James, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't going for that. Just the personality, the quips and stuff like that. That's all I was talking about. But yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah.
I like that was the end of Larry too, because like now he can't even be a butterfly anymore now.
Yeah, don't fuck with my BFF.
Yeah, and he does that and he kills him really quick. And it's like, damn, how many times is he gonna keep getting up? How strong and resilient is fucking Vigilante? Because he got shot, threw the little knife, and fell to the ground face first. And
boy, you better give props to Hardcore, because she first got shot by a shotgun on the right shoulder, and then got shot on the waist, and then got shot around the leg, or
she only got shot twice.
Waist again.
Yeah,
no,
I think twice.
Yeah, she got shot, one in the shoulder, one in the hip. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that's twice.
But the thing is, she didn't get back up. Vigilante was shot, fell face down first, you know what I'm saying? And then 30 seconds later, he's killing someone else to make sure Peacemaker gets down the stairs. And it's just like, damn. He's just keep getting up. I don't know who's more resilient, him or Judo Master. Like, they just keep
fucking right
after fucking dying.
Judo Master? Yeah. I don't want to jump to the end, but damn.
They just keep getting the fuck up. I'm like, yo.
But yeah, so Hardcore goes down, Adebayo sees it, and she grabs 2 pistols, and John's like, what makes you think that you can do this? And Adebayo's like, because I'm made for this shit. And she literally goes out there like fucking John Wick, bro. What? And just gone. Yeah, Merc is like gun fu, bro. That shit was sick. Adebayo was murking these dudes, bro. It was crazy.
I need to rewatch the scene, because I need to count how many bullets wasted, because I'm like, yo, where's the reloading aspect in this? Because I'm like, there's no way you just shot.
I mean, she's good. Each of those guns should have like
6
almost, I mean, more than that.
Really?
Because I mean, they looked like Berettas to me. Don't they hold like more than 10?
And also,
like
how did each? Okay, then if that's the case, then that makes sense. Then if that's 20, but how the hell, if you trip, do you really think you would break it like that fast?
You never know, because he didn't look, and he didn't look, and he clipped it. So if you don't,
but that looked painful.
You're just going full speed, and you clip something, you can fuck some shit up.
Yeah,
like
I was like, oh shit, it kind of was about to get another moment. Nah.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we've given him shine a few times. He's had his shine. Technically, he had his moment where he did some stuff. Let's let Adebayo have this by herself.
He has determination, though, because he dragged himself all the way from back there to all the way Hardcore was. That's determination, and dragging yourself a broken leg. That is like straight up determination. Because I would be like, yo, I'm gonna just throw this shit. Like, cat, just do something. Because I was like, nah, my feet literally broke, and you expect me to drag myself up there? I'll be like, nah.
There's a compound fracture, so like the bone broke skin. So you dragging yourself, that bone is catching something.
Yeah, thank you. Like, that's painful.
Oh my God. I was like, yeah, that's gotta be fucking miserable.
Yeah. But Hardcore tells Adebayo to help Chris kill the cow. And we didn't even talk about the fact that when Chris was going down the stairs, he falls through and a bunch of rubble falls on top of him. So it's like, oh shit, well now he's stuck. So Adebayo goes to help him. John gives her the torpedo helmet, she goes down and she's removing rubble. She's removing these pieces of wood and shit like that. I was like, oh shit, she's about to help Chris. And we see Chris reach out. I was like, oh shit, Adebayo got through pretty quickly, grabbed him, pulled him out. I was like, she's a lot stronger than I thought, but okay. And then, but we actually get the close up and he's like, Goff? Yeah. You know? So, and I absolutely love this scene between Chris and Goff because it is a conversation about their vows and their ideologies. And Chris realizes that what Adebayo was saying earlier on was true. You can't let this one tragedy define your life. You can't just use this vow to just kill people and think that it means something because you're doing it for peace, right? Just like the butterflies, you are removing human will and imposing your own will and just calling it peace. And that is the exact parallel to Peacemaker. He's killing people that he deems are evil and calling it peace, right? Yeah. So in that moment, he sees like, no, what I'm doing is wrong. What my father brought me up to do is wrong. What Adebayo said was correct. And I can't let it define me. Right, and then he betrays them. He shoots, Locke, the police officer Locke, the one that Amanda Waller sent to be the new police captain. Yeah, shoots him in the head, shoots Goff in the chest because he doesn't want to kill his friend, and then he activates human torpedo, and fucking Adebayo goes flying through the cow. Now, I saw this coming. The moment that we saw that there was going to be a human torpedo helmet, I was like, someone's going to be wearing it and they're going to be shot through the cow. And that's how we kill the cow. That's how it happens. But like, what did you guys think about that sequence?
I would have told Chris, I guess we're even, but you're going to be paying my laundry for the next couple months or the next couple of weeks, because I would have been disgusted and throwing like, she just drank cow blood in her. Like, there's no way you came out from there and the whole blood and organs just came up on your body and mouth. You digested some shit from there. There's no way. Like, you digested something from there. Like, once I saw that, like, yes, James, I agree. I saw it coming too. But once I saw it, I'm like, that just looks nasty as fuck.
Oh yeah, real nasty.
I'm like, nah. Like, I would have told Chris, like, hey, I guess this goes even, but don't ever do this again, because I would have. Nah.
After the first time she tries it and she misses the golf butterfly, she missed them the first time and she runs straight into the wall and everything like that. And as that happens, Peacemaker screams no, like kind of like don't, like he didn't want her to kill that butterfly. So he was like, no.
Well, I mean, I think it's more of he knew that she was going to get hurt, and that's like one of his BFFs, you know?
Yeah, that too. But I don't think he wanted necessarily for that butterfly to die because, as you stated, he could have easily shot it in the head. Yeah. He could have easily, and he shot it in the chest. He didn't go for the kill shot. He shoots it in the chest, and then he says, you know what I'm saying, human torpedo, activate torpedo. And it goes straight through the butterfly, almost like a bullet. You know what I'm saying? But it's like a human bullet or whatever.
Did you guys think the way Goff was telling Chris of her ideology and how she wanted to make Earth a better place and whatnot, do you think Chris was actually gonna do it?
Nah. Because I mean, narratively, like I mentioned, this was the teaching moment. This was the learning moment for him to realize that the way that he's been going about peace is wrong, and that we should be allowed to have our free will to make our own right and wrong decisions. So no, I didn't think he was going to do it at all.
Yeah, I thought that pause was for dramatic purposes only. I didn't see him doing that. I even had a thought that he might consider it, and then the human torpedo would have activated anyway. Like Adebayo would have activated it again and did it and been like, yo, what the fuck, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? One of those situations. But for the most part, I knew that this cow wasn't going to survive. There was no way that they were going to let that happen. And I know we kind of like talked about it last week or whatever. And I think Vash said that he thinks that they won't kill the cow. But I was like, you have to. Like, there's no way around it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
I'm curious.
go ahead.
I was just gonna add to what Steve said. Like I felt the same. Like I knew Chris was not gonna take the opportunity, but I had a feeling that his character was like, "Oh, this sounds good, but it's good. It's too good to be true." But also, once you mentioned Judo Master as well, like this is why he joined us because he believed in our cause. But then I felt like Chris was like, "No," from what James said, that our characters of these cast members have gone through so much change in these past 6 to 8 episodes that Chris has changed his ideology of what peace is and what freedom is and what is liberty. So I find it very beautiful that he don't believe that peace has to be by killing man, woman, and child no more. It's more as that it's about the freedom aspect. So I felt like this was a big turn leaf of his character where he chose we have to choose our own how we survive this planet of Earth because we know we're killing it. But I just love that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also love the fact that we were right. Like I think we've been talking about this for like 3 or 4 episodes now, where we was like, we've been destroying the planet, and the butterflies are like, we're going to prevent you guys from destroying the planet. We probably were spot on about that. That's one of the few things we were really spot on about. So I was all like, yeah, we was right.
Yeah.
As that scene happened, I was like,
Yeah, so Adebayo and Chris are walking from downstairs. Vigilante comes up. We see that Economos has been treating Harcourt's wounds as best as possible. Chris picks up Harcourt. They're walking away in this epic, like, slow-mo shot of the team. And then we hear and see fucking lightning. And I didn't know what to make of it until we get the switch. And then we see the camera turn and there's fucking Superman, fucking Aquaman, The Flash, and Wonder Woman all in silhouettes. And at first I was like, oh, that's cool. At least they got the Justice League. I didn't think it was actually any of them, but it's actually cool. It's like you brought in the Justice League. This was a great callback because it's like, oh shit, Amanda Waller actually called the fucking Justice League.
yeah.
But then, and then we get closer. I was like, that guy actually looks like Jason Momoa until they walk by and Chris is like, you late, you're fucking dickheads. And he walks by Aquaman, he's, go fuck another fish, you asshole. I'm like, that's Jason Momoa. That's actually him.
I don't.
And then Ezra Miller. It's like, yeah,
like,
you know the rumor is true. And then Jason's like, fuck you, Barry. Like, wait, they literally are here. Well, like Aquaman and Barry. We don't know about Wonder Woman and plus Henry Cavill.
They weren't,
but
or else they would have been shown. First of all, the dude's way too small to be Henry Cavill, and honestly, the woman is a little bit thicker than Gal Gadot. If we're being honest, it's like the reason why they were in silhouette is because they weren't there. It's like it would have been great if they were, but it's not. And I love that Barry just kind of keeps up the bit. He was like, "But it's not a rumor, bro."
It's like, and I like that because it gave us that playful banter that we get from Barry. You know what I'm saying? So he's staying true to the character, and I like that.
Yeah, I love that. This was a crazy fucking cameo.
I didn't expect that, no lie.
So when I heard that there was going to be a cameo, I thought it was going to be Bloodsport. I was like, this would be really cool if like Bloodsport shows up.
Nice.
And it's like you get the banter between him and Peacemaker again. It's like, we'll deal with our issues later. We have to kill some fucking bugs. And then they all just go on a fucking killing spree. But I like the fact that James Gunn kept it to the core team. And then the Justice League showed up too fucking late. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. And that's what's weird. It's like the Justice League showing up late when you got the Flash and Superman who could get there like that. It's like, but they still somehow show up late. I'm like, what? So I appreciated that.
Brian, that's fucking hilarious. What if Barry was the one that actually started the rumor and started telling everyone that Arthur fucks fish?
I wouldn't mind that. And that would be funny if that was true because like it just shows that Barry's true to his character in this DCEU, whatever the hell's gonna continue on with Warner Brothers. I don't know how, but it was just funny. So honestly, like James said, I knew there was gonna be a cameo. I didn't know who. I didn't guess. No Bloodsport, Justice League. But once they said Justice League or Green Arrow, I was hoping Green Arrow. I never expected in a million years it would be Justice League. Like, they had a Gotham TV show, guys, without fucking Batman. So for Warner Bros. To actually give us Justice League in an actual cameo, that's fucking amazing.
Gotham was good, and it was a great idea.
Yeah,
people should definitely watch Gotham if they haven't already.
Yeah, a lot of people said that it fell off in the end. I didn't complete the series, but I watched.
I mean, I thought it ended fine. I mean, no show is perfect. It's really hard to end things properly, but I thought the show was great to like see Gotham from the police perspective, from Gordon's perspective when he just joined the force, and like actually getting to see the terrible Gotham that it is leading into the Batman story. Because I mean, we've seen Batman story, we've seen all of that before, so to get a TV series, and I thought the kid that played Bruce Wayne was fucking awesome, and I actually thought the Joker on that show is one of the best Jokers we've ever gotten.
Yes.
So like
I haven't seen too much because I've only seen season 1 and season 2. I just fell off after, and also, you know, time wise, I prefer watching other things.
Yeah, so, of course.
I will watch it one day, but overall, the next scene, the hospital, Vigilante should have fucking gone to see the doctor because he said, "Nah, I'm good.
No,
just not enough pain." And then she literally said, took a nap on the floor. I'm like, boy, people coming to run it and check you up on it because look, you just literally collapse on the floor, my guy.
Yeah. I thought that was funny too because he was so dead set on trying to, you know, hide his secret identity, I guess. Things like that. So he didn't want to turn himself in. I thought that was funny. And then I didn't even realize that much time had passed. And then the next time we see Peacemaker with Hardcore, she's like, "You've been here for days," and things like that. And it's just like, oh, that's kind of sweet. He's, you know, they're finally together.
Steve, thing. You brought up one of my theories that I said back in the episode 1, 2, or 3 when we did the review. I said that I feel like Hardcore and John Cena, Chris character would be somewhat together or going to lead up to that by the end.
I mean, there's still no confirmation of that.
Yeah.
There's no confirmation.
It could be completely platonic. There's nothing to indicate that it's romantic. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but to me, there's nothing that indicates that it's out of a romantic sense, and it's more of we're a team. We put our lives on the line to keep each other alive, and my friend literally stayed here for a week until I woke up, right? And that was just like holding a friend's hand.
There's no way you're gonna, like, if it was Abadiah or like our boy Economos, I think she would have held the hand the same way, but she also teared because she actually is going to let somebody else inside her life, and he's actually putting the effort. Because remember how,
well, I mean,
like in episode 1 and 2,
I'll challenge that too. That doesn't have anything to do with romance. That's just the bond that they've built as a team, right? That group chat, starting the 11th Street Kids, like watching her sitting in the bar and just smiling, something that we've never seen her do. And even Chris alludes to it in this episode where it's just like, yeah, just shut your emotions off, like Harcourt, right? She only becomes vulnerable when it comes to the team. So it's like, to me, it's just a platonic thing. Like, I really don't want it to be romantic. It's so boring.
Me, I don't care if it does happen or not, but it would be good for the character of Chris to actually grow up, because remember, he's still at the kid mindset at the age of 40, so he hasn't even left that kid mindset yet. So if he has an actual relationship to want to grow in as a character, I feel like that would be good for his character development, for him to actually move on and actually.
Yes, but why does he need to be in a relationship with Harcourt to grow as a human? You know? Okay, he's already doing that on the team. Like, he's already grown so much. Why does he need to be in a romantic relationship with Harcourt to continue to grow as a human being? Like, to me, it just doesn't add anything at all for anybody. Like, it should just remain platonic. You know?
I'm fine with Trevor.
If anything, they do a relationship off screen, and then in season 2 they're already broken up and they're platonic. And I would
hate that too, man. Like, I don't want them to be in a relationship at all. Like, I want them to become like just really, really good friends, and I want them to keep like playing up like the sexual tension, but I never want them to be in an actual relationship. It's just dumb drama that complicates like the team life.
Oh,
It complicates the show. It's just dumb. It doesn't serve anyone, in my opinion.
cool question. I'm not sure if we did talk about it or if we did. It was very briefly, but how do we feel about Abadayo almost could have save hardcore by becoming a butterfly?
Yeah,
Like,
we didn't talk about that specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
how did you guys feel about that? Like, was you hoping for her, but God, for somebody else to take control of her,
Oh,
or
no.
was you guys kind of discussed it like me, that whole butterfly was going inside her and then probably scratching her whole, her whole throat and everything?
I thought someone was going to save her because, again, none of these core 5 were going to die in this season. So it's like I knew someone was going to save her. I just didn't know who it was going to be.
I thought she was gonna save herself. I thought because of the fact that she was just kind of laying there, the music kind of got screwy, like she was dead or whatever.
I
And I
love
thought
that
was,
too because the music got garbled as she's kind of like choking on blood. I thought that was a good taste.
I thought it would be like she's choking on blood and she's about to die, and it's like, nope, I'm not dead. Like she did it herself. I thought she was gonna do it herself actually,
I
but
thought so, but like, girl literally got shot on the right arm, and then we saw her arm move, but then she tried to. So I'm guessing it's paralyzed or a bit, no strength. She's weak. But then I feel like somebody has to save her, like a Badayo or probably a boy vigilante or somebody. But like, she cannot do nothing, and like, I better literally just grab it and just shot in a little nice headshot. But I'm like, okay, we're going like this. Dope.
Headshot while it was halfway in her mouth.
No.
Talking about when you got it in the hand, he headshot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That shit was
Say, James,
I was like, wait, what?
Hardcore.
Right?
I'm not trying to kill hardcore right now. I want her alive. Remember the relationship. I want that to live.
So we get this really cool conversation between Chris and Adebayo. This is something that we talked about last week as well, that they were going to reconcile and become friends again. And I love this moment between them. She apologizes again, and Chris is like, yeah, I know you didn't mean to do that. Like, your mom told you to do it, and you just kind of fucking did the job that you were sent to do, right? And then Chris tells her, after Eagly, don't tell V, but after Eagly, you're my BFF. And I love Danielle's acting in that moment. It seems so genuine, like, oh
Yeah,
man,
bro.
like, yeah, like we are friends. Like I fuck with that. So love that. And then while all of this is going on all the way until the end of the episode, the song Apologize by the Las Vegas plays. Really, really good song and fits perfectly with everything that's going on. And it's in this moment that Adebayo's like, you know what? I need to go do what's right. She calls a press conference. We see news crews, and she becomes the whistleblower, blows the whole thing up about Project Butterfly. She exposes Task Force X, the fact that they've been running it out of Bel Rev for years and taking inmates, using them to do government undercover work in order to get years off of their sentence. All of this different stuff. I love this cool moment where Adrian is looking at the news. He sees Adebayo, smiles, pulls the IV out of his wrist, and it just jumps out of the fucking window. I was like, that's so badass, man.
He always finds the window to jump out. I'm like, boy, like I wonder. I wish we saw like on the door or on the wall saying 3rd floor or 5th floor, just to know how many floors boys just jump out of. Like,
that would have been horrible,
right?
He jumps off the 5th floor after he checked out the hospital.
Right? Like, you just literally got healed. Why are you hurting yourself more? Like, all right, cool. You're on the 2nd, 3rd floor. You have an 80% of not getting yourself hurt. But the more high you are, you have a higher chance. I'm like, boy, what the hell did you do? But Merc brought it up in the chat. In the comics, Task Force X does become public. So I think that's what James Gunn, Warner Brothers, whatever the hell they're doing with this little small pocket characters.
Please don't give WB credit. This was James Gunn.
Yeah.
They're not that intelligent. Please don't do that.
All right. So to James' point, fuck Warner Brothers. James Gunn, 100% credit to him and to his creative team Does it decided to actually do this? And I'm curious to see what is this public eye of the Task Force X going to be about, and now what other characters is going to be added to this cast now, since now they're going to be like the public Task Force X. So I'm curious to see what's going to be more into this, because for those that don't know, in the comics, there's a public Task Force X, but there's also a undercover Task Force X that's happened like that in the comics, where our girl Amanda Waller knows that she needs to appeal to the public eye. Oh, like these are our convicts, but these are the Task Force X, the new ones. But then there's an undercover that people cannot know about, that doing other secret shit in other countries that other people should not know about. So stuff like that. I'm curious to see if we're gonna see that in the next season 2, or what else we're gonna see about Amanda Waller as well.
Yeah, speaking of Amanda Waller, so during this entire press conference, Adebayo brings up like this has been led by, it's ran by a woman named Amanda Waller, who happens to be my mother. Cuts to Viola Davis, and she's like, fuck. So here's the thing. Right after that, and we already talked about it, so I won't talk about it again, but we get the scene with Harcourt and Chris in the hospital, and then it cuts to Adebayo standing in front of her front door. She sees her wife and her fur babies, and there was 2 seconds where I'm like, Amanda Waller called a sniper, and Adebayo's brains are going to be all over the fucking walls.
I deadass thought that too. I was like, bro, imagine. Like,
or her wife's through the window. Boom. Okay,
so for me, it was the wife. I like, imagine while they're hugging each other and going around. I'm like, imagine it's just blood sports. Somebody just comes and kills the wife and be like, next time don't expose us or some shit like that. But I'm like, oh, okay, she's getting a happy ending. No, so far, nobody getting killed. No sniper, no bomb, not yet. Okay, we good.
Yeah, I was like,
to the very bittersweet end, I was all like, "Oh no!" So it's not a butterfly. I was like, she's not. I was like the whole series. I was like, she's a butterfly. She's a butterfly. And she wasn't a butterfly. So I was like, oh darn, she's not a butterfly.
And I will admit, I have come around on the relationship, right? Because when we talked about this in the first episode, I did not think that the relationship was useful or conducive at all to this story, right? I watch a lot of and specifically with the LGBTQ representation, right? Like I said in that episode, it's very important, but sometimes it can feel pandering. I watch a lot of movies, I watch a lot of TV shows, and usually these producers and these showrunners, they're trying to fit a fucking agenda. They're trying to make sure that we check all of the boxes so that no one can hit us on Twitter and it's just like, oh, there's no representation here for me. I don't see any representation. So it's just like, for me in the beginning, I'm like, is this really just some useless relationship just so that we can have a lesbian on the show, just to say that there's LGBTQ representation on the show? It was bothering me, and I can admit that I was wrong. As episodes went by, the relationship grew on me. It became an important part of Adebayo being separate from all of these killers that she's with on this team. Much like you talked about, Steve, and everybody else on the team. Like, I've come around to the relationship, and I loved it. I love seeing them at the end together again with their fur babies and everything like that, and I loved it. I love that it actually ended up meaning something, because again, especially the fucking CW, bro, it's just like they just do anything. It's just like, well, we have to have representation or else they're gonna eat us alive on Twitter, and we just have to fucking do it. And that's where like pandering and all of that shit, it really bugs me. But it was it was actually useful, and I loved it, right?
Yeah.
So then we cut to John, we cut to Economos going back to Bel Rev. He swipes his card, he goes back to his desk. That's interesting. Now that everything's out into the open, it's like he went back to Bel Rev. Can't wait to see what's going on with that.
Yeah, that I was interested in that just because of the fact that, like, he's got the leg injury. Amanda Waller has been taken down. So I thought that it was going to continue and it was going to show that he had temporarily had taken over Amanda Waller's spot. But they didn't go into it. It was kind of like he was just there, and then they cut to the end. You know what I'm saying? But I thought that they were actually going to like kind of give us some like, he had got a promotion, and he like is now the acting leader of the task force X or whatever.
Oh no.
That, just like temporarily while Amanda Waller was in trouble or something like that. But then it didn't even lead to that. It just was like, he's here, he's checking in, and we're going to go to the next scene. So I was definitely interested to see what was going on with that. But I'm like, oh, okay, that's their way of keeping us on edge until next season.
Yeah. And Brian, you're right. It all worked perfectly within the show. I was just worried. Again, like I watch a lot of media and studios just do shit to check off a box, and it's honestly really annoying and really pandering, and it genuinely annoys me. But I'm glad that it served a purpose. It was actually there
Mm-hmm.
as a part of that character and not just something to check off a box, because it
Mm-hmm.
really bugs me. But yeah, so we see John at Bel Rev. He pulls out his laptop. He pulls out a picture of them in the van, the 11th Street kids. He's smiling because now he does have friends, right? Like life is getting better for him. We see Peacemaker and Vigilante. Peacemaker ties another grenade to like another like Russian tank head,
Mm-hmm.
and he's blowing up a car. They're back to doing the same shit.
Where did he find these things? Because like I'm like, do you have a black
Dad.
marker around here? Like,
Dad, I
like
feel
my
like
boy,
it's dad.
this town, it looks like it's the backwoods of old towns. Like
Oh, you know
nobody
it
comes
is.
here.
You know.
So
it
I'm
is.
like, where do you find this black market of these type of grenades and missiles? Like, who's your plug? I just want to know.
And then we get Harcourt. She's doing physical therapy, going through so she can walk normally again. Can't wait to see where all of these characters pick up in season 2. And then we cut back to Chris's trailer house. He's sleeping. He hears a tapping on the glass. We see that it's Goff. He comes outside with Eagly sitting down on the steps. And then Eagly flies off. We all knew that Eagly was gonna grab some like fucking possum to bring it as like tribute. And then he takes a jar, pours some of like the goop that the butterflies eat, so that Goff can have some. And then we see a shadow, as cross by Chris's face, and then we see that it's the White Dragon. And John Cena's acting in this moment is just so good without any words. He sees him, acknowledges it, and then kind of puts it away in his mind and just
Right?
continues to drink his beer like it's not even real. It's just like John Cena's been getting a chance to do a lot of great acting in the show, and I fucking love it. And moments like this speaks volumes. So it's just like what are you guys' thoughts on like this wrap up for like all of these different characters in these moments?
So the whole wrap up and everything, I thought that was all cool and everything, but I was interested with what is Goff purpose is going to be now, as he's just going to live as a butterfly and decide I'm not going to take over another human. You know what I'm saying? That, like I was like, there's so
That
much.
can't happen because remember, Steve, she needs to eat the honey thing. So it's like,
Yes.
how's she gonna like stay alive for how long? So, and we don't know if they have any more packaging around the world for her to stay alive. So I'm curious to see if one of our theories, I think that we said a couple of weeks ago, that if she takes Iggy's body, that would be pretty interesting if that happens.
Well, I think that's a terrible idea.
Yeah,
and I don't think the butterfly can even fit into Eagly, which is probably why it won't happen. But like you bring up an amazing point, Vash. Like, what's going to happen to Goff now? And there's nothing for us to believe that all of the jars in that facility are destroyed. I'm sure they were confiscated somewhere, but I highly doubt it's all gone, right? But who knows? Who knows? Maybe they'll run out. Maybe Goff will end up dying. But if that was the case, maybe John should have just killed Goff. You know what I mean? So it's like Goff is going to go on somehow, but I don't know how. And also the other thing, Eagly is a character on its own. Having Goff take over Eagly, it just kind of ruins it, you know?
Yeah.
When Chris can have Goff and Eagly at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm interested as to if Goff takes over another human form, do they need more honey or milk or whatever?
Whatever it is, whatever the fluid is.
Do they
from
need
the cow.
more of that? Do they need more of that in the human form, or
Well, yeah, they need it regardless.
Yeah, because I
Because
figure like as the butterfly, they don't absorb as much, whereas they were, like those bowls were like full in
that's a
those
good
human
point.
form. So I'm like maybe just decided I'm gonna maximize my life by staying in the butterfly form. Because to me, I'm just wondering why not just take over another human. That's what I would think
Yeah,
that
but
they would.
that's a good point. Because I mean, you have to control a human body; it requires more sustenance to stay alive. So that makes
Mhm.
sense to me.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, is that the reason why I decided not to take over? That's the only question that I had over the ending, just because I'm always wondering if your purpose is to take over a host, why are you just in your butterfly form? So that's always something that I always question with that.
For me, I want to question more or like ask, what do you think a character that we don't know what they're gonna do next is our boy Judo Master? We don't know
Right.
was his character gonna do next because he literally came to the farm and literally saw all these people dead, and we know from what we could tell he doesn't have a butterfly phone. We could tell now because Goff said that he joined us, meaning that he's just a regular human that joined their cult of belief system. So
Right.
that means is Judah gonna join Chris or is Judah gonna find Goff or what information is Judah gonna do with all this? So I'm very
I
curious
don't
about
know.
like, did our boy Judah Master lost his way since he kind of lost his god? Who knows? I'm just trying to understand Judah Master character mindset. So I'm just
There's a part
it's
of
very
me
interesting.
that kind of wants Judo Master to join the team.
Same,
I
but
think it
like,
would be really really funny, but I don't know.
I mean, I I would like for him to always just be like a pest, like kind of like every time he sees them, he just kind of like fights with them a little bit and stuff like that. And
well,
I would like that. That way he stays in there. You
but
still
why
get
is he gonna fight them now? Like he has no reason. Like his original reason was to protect the butterflies, and plus he believed in them. Now that they're gone, what
I
does he have
mean,
to
maybe
do?
he might fight them because they ruined what he thought was
yeah.
Earth's only chance at redemption. So he
Because even
might
like
want to take revenge, but yeah, I mean, he might not.
when he fights Harcourt and Adebayo, he's like just there just to fight them. You know what I'm saying? Like it just he kind of like the chicken on a Family Guy. Like every time Peter runs into the chicken, they fight. I would love
I would
every
love
time
that, bro. Oh my
every
God.
time he sees them, it's just like I'm fighting one of them. Like, and that would be interesting. He's just like a pest.
Brian's like Judo Master is gonna become a climate change activist.
That
I
would be
mean,
pretty
at this
funny.
point, he might as well, right?
Yeah, and he's still eating the Cheetos. I think I'm gonna stick by that. I think he eats the hot Cheetos because the butterflies enter through the mouth.
See, but this is the problem with the information that we got from the finale. We know that Goff and the other butterflies just told him the plan and he went willingly. So it's not like he actually has to worry about one of them taking over his body. Cuz he came willingly. He fights for them willingly. It's like I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's just like what's the point of it now that we know that he was with them completely willingly after he knew their exact plan for Earth. You
Just
know what
in
I
case.
mean?
I mean, like even you got Mern that switched sides. So what if Mern, but if there's another switch of sides that just wants to get a host, and they just fly into his mouth? I mean, even if I felt like everybody's on my team, but they can control me at any point, I would still take precaution.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
out of the things, and I don't know. That's just like some theory that I think because it's like he's always eating hot Cheetos, and I just don't think that that's just something that he just enjoys. Like for some reason, I feel like it's got something to do with
It
that.
could go either way, dude. That's such a James Gunn thing. He just eats Cheetos, man. He just loves Cheetos. He
Yeah.
just loves flaming hot Cheetos. Like it could be that, or it could be anything, dude. James Gunn, that dude's brain is just like the dude is just a
Crazy.
creative genius. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. We get the scene with all of them sitting on the steps. We have Peacemaker, you got Eagle, you got Goff, and then like this ghost embodiment of his father as Eagle stares into the camera. We fade to black. Peacemaker finale. Like this show absolutely blew me away. Like I trust James Gunn. I love John Cena. Peacemaker was really funny in the movie. I thought this would be a really cool throwaway, fun little series that pops up on HBO Max. Oh, this is cool. This is fun. This will be nice to watch. I did not expect to come here and say that Peacemaker is one of my favorite comic book TV shows, period. It's crazy. Like, everything about it. Again, within 8 episodes, James Gunn has made me care about all of these people on so many different levels. And it just proves like how great of a writer he is. He did this while bored during the pandemic. He didn't have anything to do. He was locked down, and he wrote it in season 2. And I think he wrote a great story. Like, nothing's perfect, but this is so good. The expansion of the DCEU in ways that even fucking WB hasn't been able to do in years. Batmite, all of these different characters that he's introduced into the DCEU that are now canon. James Gunn did an incredible job with this series, and I am literally chomping at the bit for Peacemaker season 2. So, Steve, I'm going to toss it to you. Let me get your final thoughts on the Peacemaker finale.
Oh yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. Episode 6 is still my favorite, but this was a very good conclusion. I really appreciated the fact that they even put this, like, there's all this speculation of, okay, this is now DCU canon, this, and that, but actually putting Aquaman and Flash in there made it more canon, and it's like making it to a point where it's like we're finally getting some DCU world building, which is what we want. We want to see some type of like tie-ins and things like that to give us some world building, to show us that you got some kind of direction and everything. And the fact that it's fucking Peacemaker that's doing it, like how JB said, I don't want to give WB any credit. James Gunn is doing it. So the fact that it took a TV show from a comic book character of fucking Peacemaker to finally give us some direction and tie things together is actually crazy. But I'm glad we fucking got it. Like, at least it's better than nothing. Give us some tie-ins, give us some direction, and let us know that it's actually going to be a universe that's actually going to have some building. And I appreciate that.
It's crazy how a character that we barely care about, the only reason we hated him or acknowledge him is because he killed Ray Flag. And now that we got a TV show from him, I mean, people are like, oh, who the fuck is Peacemaker? Why do we need this show? Why do we need him? And then finding out that Peacemaker has been trending, has been hashtag, has been loved by everyone. People that are not big fans of James Gunn loves Peacemaker. People that were being skeptical to watch it loves Peacemaker. And it's one of the most entertaining type of TV show of comic book this year. And for Peacemaker to start the wave of comic book shows and movies is amazing, and I'm proud of it. And towards what Chief said, if that is true, what James Gunn said, that that he wants to focus on TV after Guardian Galaxy 3, I'm all for it, because I've been telling people Star Wars for TV, I prefer. Movies, throw that shit out the window. We don't need no more. TV is a great way for storytelling. Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Rebels, Bad Batch. There's so many things that you could do with storytelling TV because you have more time frame to tell overarching stories. Just don't have a fucking 24 type of episodes of a season like CW, and you will not get as many people on board because you will have people hating you.
Fucking hate those.
But I'm so happy Peacemaker, 8 episodes solid. I feel like HBO Max have known what they're doing. James Gunn knows what he's doing, and I can't wait to tell what James just said. James Gunn actually writing a project that he's not going to be bored this time, but he's actually going to be putting his passion, not
and
just
he's writing and directing not all of the episodes in season 2.
But still, overall, like him just writing it is good. I'm happy that he takes 6 or 7 episodes of directing and he just writes it. Because I feel like once you know what you're writing and you have the story concerns, you know, not like Star Wars, just writing per movie and not actually having the story map out. And I feel like when writers do that, you know what you're gonna end up with. And the CW don't do this very often. That they write per episode or write per the months, and not just the whole season. And I feel like when writers do that,
they write for the whole season. They're just really bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
They're just really bad at it.
Well, then they're extremely bad at it because I don't see anything actually doing well over the past couple of years. The
Yeah,
way they've been doing.
everything is losing ratings.
I
Everything.
I need them to like get a Kevin Feige. Like
I
if we
try. I tried to watch Stargirl. I don't know. I just couldn't sit through it. I don't know. I tried to watch Stargirl. I just couldn't. I don't know.
The
make
CW's
them
done, man.
again.
The only reason why Superman and Lois is so good is because it's produced by HBO Max. And
Yeah.
it's their team, it's their writers. That's why the show's good. Because it's not on the fucking CW with their writers and their
Yeah.
production.
And Steve, the show is aired on the CW, but then 4 weeks later, each episode is aired on HBO Max. So
Oh,
like, even if you're not in the mood to watch a CW, you can watch it on HBO Max. So at the end of the day,
Yeah,
you can still watch it there.
thank God. And another
But
thing, so the Peacemaker finale, James Gunn mentioned that it was the biggest single day performance of any HBO original series, period. Which is fucking huge that many people showed up for the Peacemaker finale. Like it's been
it
doing such
showed
incredible
that
numbers.
I don't know if people saw his tweet a couple of days ago or last week that he tweeted out, nobody asked for Star Wars, nobody asked for Lord of the Rings, nobody asked for any series. Guess what, once you bring up something and you just write a good story and do a good job of directing the team and everything, people will love it no matter what. Yes, I just paraphrased what he said on a tweet that has 220 characters. I think that's what Twitter has nowadays. But he says something so beautiful that you could write any character and make it entertaining as long as you know what you're doing. And I felt like James Gunn put his blood and soul in this Peacemaker show because you could ask James, you could ask Steve, you could ask anybody on the team. I was not that hyped for Peacemaker. The only reason I was hyped because I was biased because of two things: James Gunn and John Cena. I grew up with John Cena most of my life, so I enjoy his character. I enjoy who he is as a person, and to see him as a role in a comic book, it got me my hype. And to see him doing so well now that he has his own season two, my man is doing so good in his career. And I love how he has acknowledged that The Rock has paved the wave. And I love how much he's doing so well now. So I hope John Cena the best in season two. Can't wait to see what other crazy characters that they grab. If they bring any of the fucking milestone characters as well into the show, I'll be losing my shit.
Anything's fucking possible, man. Like again, James Gunn pulled out Batmite. Like he can do whatever he wants, and I'm here for it, man.
yeah.
Something like 40% higher from the first episode viewership. Yeah, dude, Brian, it's crazy like how well this show has been doing with ratings and viewership and everything like that. Like it's been doing well and it deserves it. This is an incredible show and I hope it gets like 3 seasons and then that's it. 3 seasons, 8 episodes apiece, same run times, fucking end it, you know?
That's a good 24 episodes. That'd be beautiful. 8, 16, 24. Ooh, that'd be a good 24 episodes of 3 seasons. That'd be amazing. And if there's another Suicide Squad, I don't mind. And bring Peacemaker to end it and he dies in that nice movie. Beautiful. That'd be a good storytelling of season 1, 2, and 3, and then a movie. I'm fine with that.
What Brian said is literally why I'm against like the dropping of a whole season at one time because it had a 40% increase from episode 1 to currently. So it gives you that chance to build up word of mouth and things like that. Whereas if they would have dropped Peacemaker all at one time and 40% decrease, you see what I'm saying? And after 2 or 3 weeks, they're like, okay, this show isn't doing well. We're gonna can it. I love the week to week aspect, and I didn't even know that that's what happened from week 1 to now. But what Brian said is the reason why it should be week to week. Every show should be week to fucking week.
Man, it builds up anticipation, it builds up theories between
Talk and
fans,
conversations.
like, yeah.
And you're building a fan base. Like you drop it gives us memes every week. It gives us all that stuff every week. A hashtag on Twitter every week. You
I
do if
can't.
they would have dropped Peacemaker all at one time, we would have talked about it for a week and we would have went on about our lives. And then we don't get a season
Yeah, and then
two.
we would talk about it like sporadically. It's like, oh, have you seen Peacemaker yet? Have you seen that series yet? Nah, I'll get to it. It's all on HBO Max. I'll get to it at some point.
Yeah,
But when people are talking about it week to week to week, it's hard not to just like pick it up and watch it.
exactly.
I can't
And
wait to see. I'm not sure if we spoke about last week. I'm not sure if this was news last week or from earlier this week, but of how Daredevil, Luke Cage, and every other shows are gonna leave Netflix. I'm
Hmm.
curious to see now of how the viewership is gonna change once Disney Plus makes a new Daredevil show and they're gonna release it week to week. Curious to see if the viewership of the difference of the weekend binge from Netflix Daredevil to the new week to week release of Daredevil season 4 slash reboot. How is it going to compare to people watching it the week to week type of viewership to the binge on that weekend on Netflix? So I'm really
Because
curious
it's
about that.
Daredevil, I don't think it'll be that different, if I'm being honest.
No,
Because
but
it's
like,
Daredevil.
but not only Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, like whatever show that they put in new season 4
Hmm.
of that old Defenders shows from Netflix and everything. Curious to see what will increase showing the week to week overall. I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't think any of them are gonna get shows ever again, except maybe Daredevil, and then why? I would just have him show up in other shows. I would also have him show up in movies, but another entire season of Daredevil for what? What story could
is
you
left.
possibly tell that anyone would actually give a shit about? Like, just have him show up in a bunch of different shows. She-Hulk's a great place to start. Have him show up in a bunch of episodes there and a bunch of episodes in other shows. Have him show up in Spider-Man. Have him show up in other movies and have him be an integral part of the MCU. But another season? I mean, I'm not going to complain. I just don't know what you do, right? Like, I just don't see the point in starting up a new season, a new series for any of these shows. I think you should just put them all on Disney Plus. They're technically all part of the multiverse. We can either like continue their storylines from the shows, or when we bring them back in, they're variants of the ones from that we've seen from the shows. It could go either way. But for me personally, I just don't see the point in making more seasons of any of these shows. I don't see
It's
what
like
we get out of it.
like Chief brought up. Shang-Chi, Iron Fist. I would love to have a nice little small reboot or anything in that sort of Iron Fist
Now that we have
for
Shang-Chi, I don't want to see Iron Fist.
we
Iron Fist
don't
show.
Yeah.
we don't need a show. I just want a better redo version of Iron Fist. That's all I need.
Definitely.
If we could have at least 4 episodes or 2 episodes of this character in Shang-Chi or spin off something. But I just want to see the actual kung fu fighting that we have seen in the comics and the cartoons of what he is. So that'd be beautiful. Like, I feel like with this Peacemaker showing that just need good storytelling and the right amount of episodes and the right amount of time frame for per episode. I feel like this is the beautiful wave of storytelling with comic books. Like, they have known this with other TV shows, brands, Ozark, the Sherlock Holmes, an hour, 20 minutes, 1 hour, stuff like this in storytelling. Can't wait to see what they could do with this.
Yeah. Yeah, man. This was an incredible episode. We've been going for over 3 hours nerding out about the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness trailer, breaking down the Peacemaker finale. And I love that we took our time, broke down every single thing. There's no stone left unturned. I can't wait to watch the playback, and I can't wait for the people that didn't get to watch us live to check it out, because I think this was an absolute like epic fucking episode. Even though we had some technical difficulties, we brought the content. I thought this was a great fucking episode. So Steve, tell the people where they can find you online.
Oh yeah, you can find me at ScooterSteve1428 on all social media. Follow the Blerd Mind Pod, where we have a link tree that leads you to everybody in our crew, 9 of us. Mind Not the Mixer will be back soon. We're finally coming off a hiatus. The 100 manga read challenge, please use the hashtag where me, Vash, and a lot of other people from the timeline have been reading and posting on the hashtag. Patreon and merch store, please subscribe to the Patreon, where we've been putting a lot of content on there. We've been uploading almost 3 to 5 episodes a week. Also, we have the merch store, buy some socks. Gonna probably put some new designs on there. We just got a new thing, probably a new surprise coming. I'll talk to the group about it, but yeah, that's it for us.
Vash? You guys can find me at Legendary Vash everywhere. I work in production as my day job, and I do a lot of shit. Other than that, when I'm not doing work and to make myself survive in this nice hungry world that only cares about money, I also like to do content creation, like you see myself here with my lovely people and co-hosts here and my friends. We do C4SVillains every Friday. We've been taking a 3-week break from anime podcasts for many reasons, scheduling, things going on in people's lives, but guess what, we will have an episode next week with the co-founder and CEO of Studio Maho, Yin and Pat. This Sunday, showing and rolling what happened. Would it be with James? Will he have work still? People in Australia, things going on. Who knows? But I will try to make a show this Sunday because Sam won't be able to make it. So it's just me and who else? Who knows? But what is going to be happening? Myself and James will be doing an Uncharted movie review this coming week. So James gave me a reason because I asked group chat, can we watch Uncharted? Because I want to review. And James said, I'm watching. All right, cool. Let's do a review. And another review will be happening. Not sure when it will be released, but it's the Promised Neverland manga review of myself and Steve on his brand over in the Mind of the Blerd. So definitely can check that out. And me and Steve will be doing a different review on the Anime Lately as well on that side, but that'll be a different conversation because I have a different idea for that. But go check us out. All the links are down below. Check the crew, check the team, because we are fun folks. And if you don't like us, there are different people like us. So definitely check everyone else around.
Yeah. You guys can follow me all over social media at JB Exclusive, where I talk about movies, anime, comics, whatever. You can find it all on there. Head over to carefulforspoilers.com. You'll find links to our merch store. I've been working on some new t-shirt ideas. I got some stuff on there right now, so definitely check that out. Links to our Patreon. All of the links to the podcast and the C4S Podcast Network are all on there as well. Brad and Blake will be returning very soon with the You've Got to See This podcast. Their first episode back, they're going to be talking about all of the movies that got snubbed at the Oscars, and then the following episode will be them pretty much just breaking down all of the winners from the Oscars. So they will be back very soon. I can't wait for that podcast to start up. That's one of my favorite podcasts that I'm producing right now, so I can't wait for those guys to get back on the mic. Make sure you guys come back here next week on Villains, where we might be reviewing Batman Year One in preparation for the Batman the following week after that. So make sure you guys stay tuned for another comic review here on the channel. If you haven't seen it before, definitely check out our Justice League Darkseid War review. That was a lot of fun for us to do here with the entire council, so that was a fucking blast. So yeah, check us out next week. The week after that, we have so much content. Peacemaker is over, but we still got so much shit, so much heat coming for you guys in the next couple of days to fill in the time before Moon Knight starts at the end of fucking March, bro. So,
I forgot about that shit.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
So thank you,
chat,
every
like,
single
comment, subscribe. We appreciate everything you do.
Yeah,
make
sure if you guys are here, please, like, if you're not following us on Twitch, please follow us on Twitch. I'm trying to build that up so that we can make affiliate. I want to have more of a presence on Twitch. I would like to start gaming on there as well. That's going to be fun. So yeah, like the video, like Vash said, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend, share the Twitch with a friend. And thank you all so much for being here. It really means a lot. It's past midnight where I am. Thank you
Arigato.
all so much for being here in chat, joining in the conversation as we nerd out about Doctor Strange and Peacemaker finale. So thank you all again for being here. Vash, Steve, thank you guys for being here for this later part of the review. Thank you to
Always, bro.
Abe for being here. Thank you so much to RayApollo and Chris Conkling from the Popaholics podcast for coming in and nerding out with us to talk about the Doctor Strange trailer. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up for the night, guys, and we will see you on the next one.